Alright everyone, so why do affirmations not work? Well, that's because the brain has a bullshit detector. If you tell yourself, I'm a freaking millionaire, while you work as a bartender in a nightclub, well then, you won't be able to sell this to your brain. So, from a neuroscientific perspective, what it actually needs to reprogram your brain to become a high performer and incredibly successful at that, stick with me and find out. Now, if you truly want to change and become the best version of yourself and a high performer, then you need to be aware of the words of psychologist Michael Gervey, and that is that at the elite level, talent and ability are actually mostly equal. High performance is 90% mental, in fact. So the key to be the best of the best is not talent, it's not ability, it's your head, it's your mindset, and it's your beliefs. And that's why in this video, I will first cover why your subconscious beliefs are key and decide everything. That is why you get nothing done, or why you are a high performer, in fact. And then I will follow up with a scientifically backed 6-step method that you can apply to reprogram your subconscious mind. And especially pay attention to step 6, in which I explain, as an example, what you precisely need to do to program your mind for high performance. Of course, you can use the same method for anything else as well, but make sure to watch the entire video to get the full context, to understand what is happening in your brain, in fact, and why you need to do the things I recommend. So it's a little bit of a longer video, but bear with me and I will promise you that you will benefit from it. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe and click the notification bell to stay in the loop for future videos. It would be really cool if we could get to 100 subscribers, and I got a special in mind for that. Well, that means more work again, of course, but that's why we are high performance, right? Anyhow, let's get straight into the video. So let me start off with a few crucial facts that you need to know first. And that is that the way in which we react to events in the outside world is 70% automatic. For example, the average person has 48 to 60 thoughts per minute, and only 6 to 8 of those 48 to 60 minute thoughts are conscious. So the vast majority of our thoughts are in fact unconscious. And it's not only thoughts, it's also how we react to a given situation. That is also 75% automatic. And importantly, how we react is decided by our subconscious beliefs. Well, and to make it very simple, we can have good or bad beliefs, empowering beliefs or limiting beliefs, that is. Now, empowering beliefs, those are the ones we want, of course, and they're usually linked to a growth mindset. That means that empowering beliefs help us to reframe hardship, novelty, misfortune, fear, uncomfortable situations, etc., maybe as an exciting challenge, as an opportunity to get better. So, in other words, empowering beliefs that will drive you, that will give you inner certainty, that will give you confidence, that will motivate you when it gets hard and unfair, that will keep you happy and engaged, and that will get your very best out of you. So, for example, if you try something, it doesn't work, your immediate reaction with an empowering belief could be, yeah, whatever, that's cool. Let's just analyze what went wrong here. Let's learn from it, and let's just try it again until it works. You could fail something, for example, let's say a business deal, and an empowering belief could make you react like, this. I got this, and I know I got it. I just crush it tomorrow. Or someone else makes far more progress than you, and your immediate reaction could be, awesome, this dude is cool. Let's learn from him, let's connect to him, let's copy what he does, and crush it as well. Or you might be exhausted from running, it goes uphill, and your immediate reaction with a good belief could be excitement, in fact. You might speed up because you love pushing. On the other hand, let's look at the opposite. Limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs normally mean that you see hardship, novelty, misfortune, fear, uncomfortable situations, etc., as a threat to yourself and as a threat to your well-being. So also simply put, in this case, whenever something happens, a limiting belief will pull you down. So limiting beliefs make you feel insecure, that will make you question your abilities, that will give you imposter syndrome, that will quickly demotivate you when something goes wrong or when it gets a little harder and unfair. They keep you unhappy, disengaged, and that is probably the most important thing. That will block your true potential. You try something, it doesn't work. With a limiting belief, your reaction would be, damn, I knew it. I shouldn't have tried this. I just embarrassed myself. I wasted money here. Or you fail something important, again, a business deal, and your belief could be, nah, I'm a loser. I don't deserve this. Or someone else makes more progress than you, then your immediate reaction with a limiting belief could be jealousy, maybe, or blame. So that could, for example, be, this guy, why is this idiot making more progress than me? That's unfair. He doesn't have the same troubles I have, so he wouldn't understand. Stuff like that. Or maybe you're exhausted from running and it goes uphill, to take the exact same examples. And your immediate reaction with a limiting belief could be, wait, uphill again? Why? I mean, my legs are bricks and I'm beat. I don't want anymore. Why do I have to do this? Anyhow, basically. So, believe it or not, thoughts like that, either pushing us up or pulling us down, they pretty much constantly occur in our brain. And again, whether positive or negative thoughts pop up is largely dependent on what subconscious beliefs we have and how we see ourselves. So as I mentioned in part 1 of my belief series, a belief dictates how we perceive the world, what self-image we have, and how we think and behave in response to a negative situation. Just for your information, I'll link the video in the description so you can check it out later after this video. In any case, for me, for example, I consciously adopted the belief that I'm hardcore, that I'm a grinder, and that I'm a high performer. And because of this belief, because I adopted this belief, every time I fail, every time it gets really hard, my brain automatically tells me, I'm not a damn pussy. Keep pushing. I refuse to be pussified by this. Is that even a word? Well, it is now. Anyhow, I'm not kidding when I say this in fact, and that's the habit of ferocity. That is to automatically push harder when it gets hard, is in fact normal for top athletes and other peak performers. So it would be incredible if we could program our mind in this way, wouldn't it? Anyhow, do you also have such empowering thoughts that pull you out of a hole and motivate you? Just pause the video for a second and let me know in the comments. I'd love to read that. Anyhow, as I mentioned, what if you could reprogram your brain? What if you could, for example, program your brain to become excited, to love risk, challenge, discomfort, and fear? And as I just said, to push harder when it gets hard, to speed up? Well, the truth is, you can program your mind. And there are exactly six consequential steps that you can follow to change any limiting into an empowering belief of your choice, to reprogram your mind and brain in any way you want. So stick with me and you will find out exactly what you need to do. Now, for step 1. First and foremost, you need to identify your limiting subconscious beliefs. Now, you might think, limiting beliefs? Looks quite apparent. I'm not good enough, for example. But it's often not. These limiting beliefs are subconscious after all. So you are by definition not consciously aware of the fact that you have them. And by definition, once again, you don't realize how these limiting beliefs negatively affect you in an emotional way, how they sabotage you, and how they block you from taking action. For example, I used to struggle with perfectionism personally, and actually it got so bad that at some point I even dropped video gaming. Fun fact, because I wanted to play every game perfectly from the beginning, and every time I would pretty much try to play a game, I would get this mental block feeling in my head that pretty much discouraged me from gaming, so I wouldn't even start doing it. And that's pretty much when I realized, hold on a second, I'm blocking myself from doing anything. I have trouble to start new things because of this mental block feeling. I can't even enjoy myself anymore. So, once again, being your very best starts by figuring out what is holding you back. And again, the best way to figure out your limiting beliefs is in fact by journaling. So, just grab a piece of paper or a little journal like I have right here. Take some time, sit down, and answer the following questions. I'll mention them in the description for you as well, so you can do it later by yourself. But the questions are: A. Is there anything in my life that I'm not satisfied with or that I'm unhappy with? Could be anything: your career, personal accomplishments, hobbies, friends, relationships, etc. Then B or 2 is: why exactly am I unhappy or not satisfied? Could, for example, be that you don't like that you're always so nervous and shy in front of women, for example, that you can't even say hello. Third question: what do I desire instead? So that could be, to pick up the same example again, I want to be able to have fun conversations with women I meet, and I want to be able to ask them out on the spot. Simple example, quite straightforward. The fourth question is: what exactly is holding me back and what hinders me from taking action? And that's a big thing because that's where the gold nuggets are. Again, in my case, it was a feeling of this mental block that came up whenever I tried to do something new. And again, knowing what holds you back will also give you your control back. Know thy enemy, as I like to say. And other add-on questions to look at why you don't take action, to realize what is holding you back, could, for example, be: what has stopped me from taking action in the past? Are there any negative thoughts in my head, stress, anxiety, discomfort, the mental block, that prevent me from taking action? And did I receive any negative comments or critique that hindered me from taking action? Were these comments and critique from other people, or did I self-imagine that? And was it actually offensive, or did I get constructive comments and critique that were meant to help me? Once again, all of these questions, they are in the description for you, so don't worry about them. You don't need to write them down. That aside, the fifth big question, that is, what am I doing or thinking with which I self-sabotage my progress? And it's also a big point because we often self-sabotage ourselves a lot. For example, let's say you want to lose weight. You follow a strict meal plan, you count your calories, you do your strength training, you do cardio, but you don't lose weight. So why is that? And that could be because you might keep slipping in chocolate bars between meals, and you might drink soft drinks that you also don't track. I mean, a bite can't hurt, right? And who cares about a drink here and there? Well, wrong. Guess what? The chocolate bars and the soft drinks, they have calories. Even if you don't track them, they have calories, alright? And those extra calories, they add up. And the net effect could be that you don't lose weight. So it sounds pretty logic, but you will be surprised at how good you can be in bullshitting yourself. And this happens a lot. So take this question serious. And now the sixth question, number six, the last one that you should answer for yourself. Again, questions in the comment. That is, do I have any bad habits that stall my progress and reduce my productivity? Bad habit, there are tons out there. Social media is one of them, for example. Or it could be that you just sleep 5 hours a day. Obviously, you can't be expecting to produce amazing work if you just sleep 5 hours a day. Notably, 5 hours of sleep, it, funny enough, equals drinking 5 beers before work. And I'm not kidding here, that's a fact. So the way here would be to fix your habits and sleep longer in this case. So don't forget, our behavior is 75% automatic, which is also the reason why our habits matter so much. In any case, check out the questions for yourself. Take some time, answer them genuinely, and you will benefit from it, I guarantee you. Now, on to step 2, importantly. Now, with the answers of the previous questions, you now need to identify your limiting belief or beliefs, spell them out, and write them down. Also write them down into your journal. And again, the key is to be honest. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't lie to yourself. This is meant for you, and you don't need to show this to anyone. Now again, in my case, for example, it was whenever I tried something new, I got this uncomfortable feeling of a mental block in my head, and it hindered me from taking action, from doing the task, and I couldn't even enjoy myself or my hobbies anymore. And I figured out that I got this mental block feeling because of perfectionism. I pretty much wanted to make a competent expression in front of others, and I wanted to appear skilled. Pretty much similar to the imposter syndrome. And the reason I had this urge to appear so confident is because I wanted to create this this facade. I wanted to be, being a genius to make this impression. And that is also why I was really bad at handling critique and failure way back then. And it's also why I didn't like doing new things, because they could make me fail. Oh, that was deep, right? But what you need to understand is to transform yourself into a better, more confident, and more capable version of yourself, you need to identify these issues so that you can untangle them and change them to reach your true potential. I mean, let's just be real here. If I cannot handle critique and failure, and if I still couldn't do new things just because they would make me fail, then I wouldn't get very far as neuroscientist, as entrepreneur, etc. So these are deep-seated issues that would hold me back tremendously. So that's why you need to figure this out for yourself and fix it. Anyhow, the third step now will be to think back and write down up to 5 occasions, pretty much as proof, in which you busted these limiting subconscious beliefs. And that is really crucial here, because the problem that we all have is right here. Because your brain has a bullshit detector. It wants proof. So beliefs are in fact created when the brain, normally subconsciously in fact, picks up on things that repeatedly happen around you and then looks for proof for these things. Is this true? Is this not true? And again, for deeper insight in how beliefs are formed, check out my previous video in the comments, which will describe the brain neuroscience behind it in detail. And you can do that after you finish this video, and drop a comment there to let me know if it was insightful for you. I'd love to know. Anyhow, the bottom line is that if you crap into your pants out of fear whenever you see a girl, but you tell yourself, I'm confident, I'm a ladies' man, then your brain will tell you, whoa, 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 Hold on, just look at your pants, man. So that's why you can't just talk yourself confident, for example. You need to act confident to collect proof for your brain that you are confident. Or you need to collect proof of working hard to convince yourself of the fact that you are a hard worker. It makes sense, right? And that's also very important why you need to write down all of this proof, those 5 things, into your little journal in step 3 here. It doesn't matter how small it is, write it down. Again, if you have busted your limiting beliefs in the past, it will help you to convince your brain that you can do it in the future again. Now, step 4, also an important one, is to determine how you can beat, or how did you beat your fears in the past, your limiting beliefs. So in those moments when you busted your limiting beliefs, what did you do? So perhaps you did some deep breathing to calm your mind before public speaking. Or maybe you reframed the situation. Maybe you reminded yourself of the fact that fear is great because fear allows you to get, or because doing it because of fear helps you to become unstoppable once you learn to deal with it. It could be anything, whatever you did, whatever method you used, whatever you told yourself, do it again. Do it again. Because the point here is you have already beaten your limiting beliefs. So by doing exactly the same thing again, by practicing this exact thing, and by refining it, you can in fact beat your limiting beliefs without the need of anyone else. You don't need any coach, you don't need anything because you have done it before and you can do it again. Step 5 is probably one of the most important steps in the entire thing, and my personal favorite, and that is that you need to define your identity and your behavior and constantly remind yourself of it. Well, as I told you earlier, affirmations alone don't work. You cannot bullshit your brain. Your brain wants proof. But assigning yourself a powerful identity is the most powerful way to define your personal values, to increase your willpower and grit, and most importantly, assigning yourself an identity, it reminds you of how you act, how you should act. And if you do all of that correctly, again, if you assign yourself a powerful identity, then you can reprogram your mind to act in any way you want. Alright? I actually mentioned this in my previous goal video, and that is that your conscious mind is the CEO of your brain, and your subconscious mind, that's pretty much 99% of what's going on in your brain, in fact, is the employees. So if you instruct your brain well, your subconscious mind well, then it will work in your favor. You just need to know how to do it. Once again, I dropped the video, the goal video, in the description. That way you can learn how you can program your mind to look for solutions to reach a certain goal. Highly recommended, but stick with me first to get the rest of the video here. In any case, assigning yourself a powerful identity is one of the few things that you can do to again instruct your subconscious mind in any way you want. In this context, you use the words I am because this assigns the identity to you. You can say, I'm a high performer, for example. Now, as James Clear mentions in his book Atomic Habits, there's a major difference between I tried to quit smoking versus I am not a smoker, for example. Sounds quite similar, right? But there is a big difference here, because I tried to quit smoking, that implies that you are still a smoker, who maybe even unsuccessfully tried to quit, so you still associate yourself with smoking, and just grabbing a cigarette here and there wouldn't be so bad, right? On the other hand, if you say, I am not a smoker, you have clearly defined your values. You don't smoke. You don't touch cigarettes, and you stand to it. But then again, to just simply say I am a high performer, for example, is not enough to reprogram your subconscious mind. You need to do a few things to make it work. So besides I'm a high performer, defining your identity, you need to describe, so verbalize exactly how you act. That's important. So you spell it out. What do you do? And this could mean, let's give you an example. I'm a high performer and I do every task with my undivided focus, full engagement, with absolute excellence, no matter how bad I feel. So do you see how powerful that is? It's like a mantra. So if you keep repeating that to yourself, you keep reminding yourself of what is important, how you want and should act. But then again, what you also need to do is visualize your identity daily to remind yourself of it. And as little as 1 minute is in fact enough for that. So what I personally like to do in this case is to write it down on a post-it. So just write down I'm a high performer and I do XYZ on a little post-it like that here. Grab it and just pin it on your calendar. And then every morning before work, maybe do some deep breathing. So just close your eyes, focus on your breath, and calm your mind. Now, a few breaths is normally fine, but ideally you do this for at least 5 minutes until all of the noise in your head fully disappears. 5 minutes is also enough to reduce the stress hormone levels in your body, so you will feel the difference at this point. And next, what you need to do is, of course, just take your post-it again once you are calm, once you've done the breathing. And yeah, just read your identity. And while you read it, you visualize and you feel it. For example, as you read, I'm a high performer and I do every task with my undivided focus. You could just imagine how you sit at your desk, how you're deeply immersed into your work, how you feel the drive and excitement, your desire to create an excellent piece of work, how you enjoy the challenge and how you push against your fatigue, and the deep feeling of inner commitment that you have to get your work done in time for others, etc. So engage your emotions, feel them. And it's very important that you do that because emotions, they help to reinforce thoughts and beliefs. Once again, check out my belief formation series in the comments for more insight. Anyhow, what you also need to know is that there are only 4 scientifically proven ways with which you can reprogram your mind. I will not go into detail here, and there's of course a lot of random stuff around in the internet that you can always find, but the more accessible and the easier ways to reprogram your mind are deep breathing and meditation. And that's also why I recommend this visualization practice to program your subconscious mind, because again, it is one of the very few things that actually work. Anyhow, ultimately, if you keep doing this, if you keep confirming your identity, and if you actually act, so by starting to act like a high performer, you will create proof for your brain. Ideally, you might scale up, you might start to work longer, you might get more done. At some point, you might even get to the ideal stage, which would be 2 deep work sessions per day of approximately 3 hours in flow, ideally, as I would recommend as a high and peak performance coach. Anyhow, you will eventually produce results if you keep at it. And again, these results, the work capacity that you build, etc., it will all be proof of high performance. And as you see this proof of high performance, you will start to in fact believe that you are a high performer over time. Now, and lastly, that's step 6. So we're almost there, guys. And that would be to create an action plan to set gradually harder challenges for yourself. So you know now what is holding you back. You have defined who you are, and you have instructed your brain how to act. You have assigned yourself an identity. So now all that's left is to take action. So in order to do so, set gradually harder goals to turn everything in your favor. For example, let's say you get extremely insecure in front of beautiful women and you cannot get a single word out, maybe because you lack self-confidence. So as a goal, you could say, all right, let's just talk to 5 random normal women that I randomly meet in the supermarket, etc. this week. And the following week, you maybe make it a little bit harder and you say, all right, so this week I want to have a conversation, just a conversation, maybe just talking, with a girl that I'm really into, that I find really beautiful. Again, you can also, it's always dependent on how confident you feel in your ability to reach the goal. And then the following week, you can go even higher. And you could maybe say, all right, let's talk to 3 women that I really like. And let's try to ask for phone numbers. I don't have to succeed. I just need to get to the point that I ask for phone numbers, etc. So as you can see, just make sure that you set those gradually harder goals, that you lock down your goals. In your little journal here, very important, always keep track of it, and evaluate your progress on a weekly basis. Never forget, only what is tracked gets measured and is done. It also serves as a personal proof, of course, to see the progress that you've made. I mean, it's in your freaking journal, right? So that is also very motivating. Anyhow, if you follow the 6 steps I outlined in this video, and if you take action, then you can gradually stretch yourself. You will learn to overcome your old self, and ultimately you will become the best and highest performing version of yourself. Alright, so all that's left to say is thanks for watching and sticking with me to the end. And if you liked the video, just give it a like, comment, and share with others who could benefit from a kick in the butt to get things started. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and click the notification bell to stay in the loop for future videos. And have a good day.